Hi, good morning. It's Tanny the Canadian Stamper. Welcome to Saturday Morning Crafting. We are getting spooky with some Halloween stuff. We're doing the spooky Halloween dies with the Spooky Sweet 12x12 DSP, and it's going to be a fun fold. So the fun fold is a take on this one, which I will hold up for you. So this is the design we're going to use, and then of course we're going to make it spooky. So I've designed it more as like a desk or table decoration, I suppose, versus a greeting card. There's not really a lot of greeting cards, I suppose, for Halloween. So we're going to do kind of like a decoration. And then I also bought, as inspired by Jackie last weekend, I went out and bought the set of the massive dies and the banner dies, and I've made a fun little banner too for Halloween. So we're going to dig into both of those. Good morning, and let's get to it. There's some exciting news coming, which has to do with this guy right here, which is the new mini catalog. So the new mini catalog comes out on September 3rd. Let me just verify that. Yep, September 3rd to January 5th. And this gives you some sneaks as to what might be in there. Some little gingerbread men, some stuff for fall and Christmas. And this is a feature, this is a suite. So I can't open it just yet, but on the 3rd, which is Wednesday, we can. And so if you need a catalog, then let me know, and I'm happy to get that to you, whether it's digital or paper. I have both. All right, so let's do first things first. While people are jumping on, I'm going to show you this banner that I made. So these are the dies that we used last weekend, which was inspired by this one that you all voted on. My version is, I don't know, over there somewhere. So Jackie lent me her dies, then I went and bought my own dies, and they showed up yesterday, just in the nick of time. So with this set, you can get the full alphabet. They're quite big. I'll just tell you how big they are, just to give you an idea. 2 1/4 by like 1.5. They're quite big. And then these, look at all these banners that you can get. And then these little corner pieces give us the little holes to do it. And then, not really sure what we're punching these out for, but this is what I made. It's a banner that says boo. Isn't it adorable? So this is going up. If you've been to my house or you've seen in live videos, I've got those white shelves on either side of the TV. So this is going up next to that. And I'm going to make one that says eek. So I had in this alphabet die set, you can get an exclamation mark, but I figured that this broom was a nice little different way to make an exclamation mark. So all of these little accent pieces are from this Spooky Sweet 12x12 designer series paper. We went over this a couple of lives ago, and so you get the 12x12 paper in here. Double-sided, of course, and then some of these have pre-done tags, so you just have to chop them out, and then you can stamp on them to make little Halloween gifties. And here's some iridescent treat bags that you can use to go along with that. But then this, you get 2 sheets of these images that are stamped and die cut already, and then I've used them to do this, and we're going to use them in the project that we're doing today. That's fun, hey? What do you think? Give me a thumbs up if you love it, if you think it's cute. Have you ever thought about making a banner? I tried last weekend to do one of these banners, but so I cut the 3 layers, basic black, pumpkin pie, and then the designer series paper, and then I measured into the middle and then cut. It didn't work out. It was not as easy as using the dies. Yeah. So that's the little home decor Halloween piece that's going up. Oh, I see your comments now. Good morning. All right, so today, this is the inspiration. So all the measurements will be in the newsletter, of course. So let's get right to it. I'm going to go over our pieces. So we have a base, 4¼ by something, 5½ by 4¼ and then this layer is 1/4 inch smaller. And then we're going to have a couple pieces of the designer series paper from that 12 by 12 spooky. I'm just going to do this dry so you can see how we're going to go. Then we have this piece. I think this is 8½ and then it's scored in a couple of places, but the measurements will be there tomorrow. This needs to fit here, so this will be 4¼ tall. And then it fits in your envelope. So when you're putting this together, if you're new to this design, you just want to make sure that everything that you're putting on the card fits in this square, including when you lift this piece up, that anything that you have sticking up, which is going to go on this piece here, it doesn't go past here, you know? And then that lays flat, so it all tucks into a card nicely. See what I mean? Oh, what am I doing with my comments here? Hang on. All right, so let's get right to it. And then we're gonna decorate, which I don't really know. I've got some pieces ready, and then you're gonna tell me what you think. I think that's how we're gonna go. All right, so first things first, I don't know what's happening here with Facebook. Let me pull up your comments. So let's start gluing the easy bits. And let's talk about what's happening this weekend. It's a long weekend here in Canada. Labor Day long weekend. I don't know if it's a holiday in other places. If it is, happy long weekend. So we've got Christy and Peter are here visiting, and we've got some fun activities happening. We're going to the Saanich Fair and got some crafting with my friend Lisa. And public service announcement. Get your mammograms, ladies. Make sure to get your mammogram. I got that booked this weekend as well. Look after your health. And what else is happening? Oh, and then getting ready for the craft and chat next weekend. So someone was not able to join and has canceled. So I do have a spot remaining if you're interested. All right, so this one's gonna glue right down like so. I just cut it ever so slightly off, but not to worry. So that's how that's gonna go. Now, I do want to have this piece to go on the inside. And then we're gonna spruce up this house and we're gonna use it as our easel to stop our easel. So what that looks like is this card folds down like so. Then this piece comes up and it needs something to stop it from falling flat. So we're going to use this house to do that. And the trick is to pop that up. But first, we're going to add to the windows of our house. So we're just gonna add a bit of glue because we don't want the house to be naked, right? But in behind there, we're gonna add a bit of color. So ever so slightly, a little dab will do ya. You just want a little bit of glue to hold a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to use pumpkin pie, but you can use daffodil delight, lemon lolly, whatever color you want to be in the background of your house windows. See? Much better. And we're going to trim this. We're going to add one more little piece. Nobody even knows. And then this guy's gonna go here. So how big is this? This is 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. So what's everybody up to this weekend? Tell me. I'm interested to know. Good morning, Jan. Just gonna cut this so it's smooth. All right. So we got our house organized. So let's set that aside because we're not ready to put that down. So let's focus on, actually let's put this piece down for our inside panel. So on my Facebook this week, I posted this card I was making and my use of dimensionals. Some of you commented that it was excessive. And you're not wrong. It is excessive. And I didn't realize I was an excessive dimensional person. But the card that I was making, which I can't find at the moment, where is it? Oh, here it is. Was this one here? So these are with the giant dies, and then I was popping up this panel on designer series paper. All right, so let's get to the main focal point of this card. And I think I'm gonna use, okay, so this piece is gonna go like this, and then this one's gonna go like this. So I think green. Then I've got a piece of designer series paper, and then this little hippo, a mummy hippo, is our star of the show. And then we're gonna add, we need something for this hippo to stand on. So we're gonna add like a couple pieces here. Just to add some, yep, just like that. That's good. So we're picking up the orange here, and then there's some orange here, of course, and then there's some orange in this designer series paper. And then our house is also going to have some orange, so it'll pick up all the colors, you know? So let's chop this at about here. And then we're going to add a couple bats. So in the dies, there's these bats where there's two in one die. So you can cut the bats, or if you just get the designer series paper, it also has bats. So if you like the white around the outside, great. If not, you prefer this, you can either get the dies, or you could fussy cut around there. That is actually quite a bit of white in behind there. Usually it's not quite that much. All right, so the other option was to have pink, or what color is this? It is Petunia Pop. So what do you think? Petunia Pop, I think it's just it's too much of the same color with Petunia Pop, you know? Personally. So I think I'm gonna go with green. But you got options. All right, so let's glue this piece down, and then we're pretty close to being done this fun fold already. I don't know if comments are not really coming up in Facebook today, but I don't really see any comments. All right, so the important part to this piece is that you're only going to put glue here on the bottom part of the fold, and you want this piece to be lining up with the bottom to get that easel going. So let's do that. And then you could just fold this down if you want to do it standing up. It's a little more tricky, but this way it's a little bit more forgiving. And then you could just make sure it's flat this way. Let it get tacky. Nailed it. Yep. All right, so let's do some popping as well. We'll get this piece down. So I should put the the newsletter link in here as well, in case you're not signed up. Good morning, Robin and Joan. There you are. There's the comments. All right, so we're gonna pop up our focal point with all, I'm just gonna use my normal amount of dimensionals, which are apparently a lot. One more for good measure. Hi, Willow. Willow's on scene. So, yeah, so Wednesday is the new catalog. Next weekend is my birthday weekend and also Craft and Chat. So the goodies have arrived for the Craft and Chat. If you're joining, there's a little extra birthday bonus in there. School starts next week. Zachary's going into grade 12, which is exciting. And he got all of his classes. He went this week and made some adjustments, which all worked out great, which is a bonus. Yeah. It's weird to have a teenager that's almost finished school. It's different, another phase of life. All right, so then we're popping. So see how this gives a bit of just a bit of a ledge. And then we're gonna add some spooky bats. Maybe one for sure. So these are mini dimensionals. And I can only get one on. Well, I could probably get more on if I tried. You can try, Tanya. You can do it. Oh yeah, look at me go. I'm putting 3 dimensionals on this little tiny bat. Sure, why not? Why not? Morning, Jackie. Oh, Jackie, if you were just joining, I'm got my own dies, and so I need to get your dies back to you. So remember that you're wanting to keep everything on this piece, so you don't want these bats to go outside of where we're at, you know? I'm hesitating. I'm wondering if maybe some bats should go here. Oh, I need a sentiment. Duh. Okay, I think I'm gonna go on the outside. Okay, you're gonna stay there. I totally forgot about my sentiment. So I think it's gonna go up here. Let's see if it fits. Oh yeah, that might fit perfectly. But I don't have any ink, so I'm gonna have to excuse myself for a moment and get my ink. So this brand new, so give it a bit of a rub. I saw someone yesterday, was it Sue Phillip? I saw her using an eraser. I think she was using an eraser to go over that. Okay, let me grab my black. Where did this bee come from? It's random. Okay, so I'm using Memento. I just had this little scrap hanging out. Yeah, perfect. We'll glue that down. There, now we've got something to go up here. It can, I want it to go off the edge a bit, but I've glued it. So you're okay left to right, but just not top to bottom as far as things going off the page. All right, so let's glue this main piece down, and then we'll do the pop-up easel portion. So you're gonna add glue to the back of this whole panel because it's going to fit perfectly. So you can, I'm just eyeballing it left to right. That looks pretty good. So let that get tacky, and then let's add our bats. One guy there. I don't think I'll do one more here, but I'm just going to glue this one down. So there's little slats in the wings, so don't go too heavy on your glue. Beautiful. All right, so now the last piece is to achieve our easel. So we gotta pop this guy up. This is our house, we already did. So this piece has to be popped. Whatever you're doing in this section, whether you're going with a sentiment like the original, you need to pop it up. All right, so this is a pretty big piece here. So I'm going to tuck it down as close as I can down to the bottom. This piece is sticking out. And so is this piece. No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to mess it up if I fuss with it. So I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. What do you think? Cute. It's very colorful. This is going to live on my desk. I should have probably put a happy Halloween. So that's what it is. And then this one folds like this and it goes right into an envelope. You could put a sentiment up here if you used a different one. Or you could add a piece to the back and write something if you wish. Like that. So the other thing you can do is a little post-it note. If you wanted to do a post-it notepad, you could probably do a 3x3, which would be quite big, but your easel would fit, and then somebody would have something to hold their post-it notes on their desk if you wanted as a alternative. I'm gonna add just a couple of gems from the suite, and then we're gonna be done. Because we need some bling. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Have an amazing long weekend. And let me know if you would like to join the Craft and Chat next weekend. Stay tuned for some new catalog stuff that's coming as of Wednesday. And Kate and I are opening the vault on the Magical Fun Folds class as well, if you're into that. So stay tuned for more information. There's our project for today. Have an amazing long weekend, and we'll chat with you again. Bye for now.